Tradespeople are injured on the job more than any workers in America. But despite needing healthcare more, many tradespeople actually have less access to health insurance. That's why Trade Hounds is partnering with Ironvest, an employee benefits marketplace. On today's webinar, we're answering your questions about healthcare options. I'm Jeanette Abrahamson, Vice President of Marketing at Trade Hounds, and today I'm joined by Adam Weisberger, James Mills, and Devin Rose of Ironvest. Thank you all so much for being here today. We
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. We ran a poll recently in Trade Hounds asking if people get health insurance through their work. 1/3 said no. So this is a real issue in our community. We constantly see stories of tradespeople getting injured on the job. And if you want to see any nasty pictures of injuries, just scroll through the feed because it is so common. Not to mention long-term side effects of working in the trades like back issues, arthritis, chronic pain, just at much higher rates than you see in other occupations. So we're really grateful to get to work with you at Ironvest to give our users access to health insurance that they just might not get through their jobs. You also provide a bunch of other benefits that I really do want to get into in another video, but I want to focus on health insurance today because the enrollment deadline is coming up. So this is really an urgent topic. We asked our users what questions they have for you, so let's get started. If we could start with James, tell us, why should a tradesperson reach out to Ironvest for health insurance?
Yeah, of course. And again, thank you for having us. We're very grateful and excited for the partnership. And honestly, it's just a sidebar as we're talking about health issues within the trades. I've been in flooring for most of my life. I started at 10 years old with my grandpa. And now that I'm in my mid 30s, I'm like, my knees are killing me, which is why I kind of made that switch over to finance and health insurance and this employee benefits marketplace anyway. And honestly, on that topic, having been in the trades most of my life and having family that's been in the trades for the entirety of their careers, the reason why we wanted to do this is because of how overwhelming it felt to try to understand what the best options were for me, my family's family, um, especially when it comes to health insurance and some of the other ancillary benefits that we're talking about. But trying to navigate, your doctors, what to pay, what plans are the best, especially for small businesses and those like solopreneurs, those solo entrepreneurs like I was. I wished we had someone who could help me navigate that. And so that's where we come in, especially when we're talking about a time where there's rising costs and there's a lot of changes happening within the health insurance industry. We're here really to help and build trust with you guys where we can help you navigate the health insurance options and hopefully reduce your monthly payments while getting you the best benefits possible as we can.
So let's say I'm a tradesperson who does get health insurance through my job, but the rates are super high. Can I go to you and see if I can get lower rates through Ironvest?
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to go through your company plan. Actually, sometimes what we're finding is that going through some of the other plans that we have available, I know Adam will be getting into here in a minute. It really can cater more to your life situation and your budget. And so, yeah, you are 100% able to not go with your company plan and look for other options.
So how much does health insurance cost?
The hard part with that is it can vary. And what you'll find in most of what our benefits are, the caveat's always going to be it depends, just because it varies on factors like age and plan type. And I know Adam, again, will be going through more in depth regarding some of those costs and how health insurance works. But plan design, it really, as an example, it can depend on, am I getting a plan for my family? Am I getting a plan on myself? What kind of out of pocket expenses am I going to want to go with? What kind of deductible? What kind of co-insurance? And again, some of those different variations that we're talking about, I know Adam will kind of go through the basics with us. On that topic, though, what we are building into our site is a calculator to help people navigate and estimate what those costs are. And so outside of even just having conversations with us and scheduling time to find out how much it's going to cost, we're we're making it a robust functionality for Trade Hound users so that they can know what to expect.
So Devin, the next question is for you. What steps should a tradesperson take today to enroll before the January 15th deadline?
Yeah, so again, I appreciate you having us on. And the cool thing with us is like there's really isn't the same deadline, even though the 15th is coming up with us, there is no real closed open enrollment period. So, and if you enroll by the 17th in each month, coverage will start by the first of the following. So that 15th doesn't really apply to the offerings that we're doing. And again, we're kind of going out and kind of helping people get those group rates on even those individual plans. So it's a little bit different setup than they may have traditionally heard of.
And so how quickly does the coverage start after I enroll?
Again, if you sign up by the 17th, it'll be by the first of the next month. So that kind of that window.
And can you clarify a little bit about this January 15th deadline? I know you said a little bit about like it doesn't really matter like when they sign up.
Right. That's really for the federal marketplace open enrollment, and some states have extended that through the 31st. However, again, just due to the nature of what we're offering to the tradespeople, it's like that's something to be aware of, but it doesn't apply to, okay, you can't get coverage the rest of the year or change it down the road if something happens with your employment.
That's fantastic. And so how does a tradesperson or a contractor like find out if they're eligible for this?
It's pretty cut and dry. We're currently serving 40 states, trying to go to all 50, but it gets a little complicated with health insurance. You're going to be told immediately whether or not we can work with you.
Perfect. That's great. And then I have a question for Adam.
Yes.
What types of health insurance plans are available through Ironvest? And how does that compare to like the traditional employer coverage?
Okay. So we offer traditional employer coverage. If someone owns a company, we can create a traditional group coverage for them. Or, we even have plans for individuals where they can get group rates, and basically it compares very favorable to their employer coverage. Sometimes it's actually even less. So not in every situation will we have exorbitant cost savings. Sometimes it might be $1, sometimes it might be $5 more. We've had cases where I did one the other day, $450 a month savings for one person. It was a specific circumstance, but we can do across the board anything, and they all work very similar to what everyone's expecting.
I think that like one of the most intimidating things about health insurance is that there are just so many words that people might not understand. So help like break this down for us. I have some vocab here that I think is common, and you hear it a lot when you talk about healthcare, but maybe people don't actually understand what it means. So let's start with like what is a premium?
Easy. That's the amount that you pay to get the coverage. That's your cost. That's simple as that.
All right. Next up, what is a deductible?
Okay. The deductible is the amount that the insured must pay until coverage kicks in. So I always liken it to your car. Everyone knows what their car insurance deductibles are. Well, you get in an accident, your first $1,000 is on you, and then the insurance company covers the balance. Same thing with health insurance. And it doesn't, and I have to go a little deeper in this because some services are not part of the deductible. They are automatically part of it. The deductible only is for certain things. And again, you pay your deductible and then the insurance company kicks in to start covering the balances.
And what about a copay? What is that?
That's the non-deductible part that I was just talking about. That's your flat fee. You go to your doctor, you pay $25 and they tell you and they do whatever they need to do. You go to your specialist and you pay $40 and they do whatever they need to do. That does not include deductible. That is outside of that.
So what qualifies as an out-of-pocket maximum?
Okay. The out-of-pocket maximum is the maximum amount that the insured person will have to pay for any given need. So for instance, if you walk into get in a car accident and you get sent to the hospital, the emergency room, 4 surgeries, and you're in the hospital for a month and you run up $1 million bill, your maximum out of pocket on certain plans is $10,150. So you're on the hook for $10,150. The balance is covered and paid for 100% by the insurance company. Simple as that.
So this is something too that I remember when I started working, I was confused by. So help us understand the difference between like PPOs, HMOs, high
Yeah.
deductible health plans. Like there's all these, there's HSAs, there's like the health savings accounts. What are all of these acronyms?
Okay. So let's start with the easiest one, HMO, because that's the one that a lot of people, especially older people, know because everyone hated them because you need a referral to go to a thing. The HMO, the insurance company, dictates more about your health insurance than you do. There are very, very few of them out there because people hated them and the insurance companies started getting rid of them. Next one would be a PPO or an EPO. Basically, it eliminates the need for referrals to go to a specialist is effectively the main thing. So you go to your doctor says, go see an orthopedist. If the orthopedist is a network, go. You don't need to do any additional paperwork, anything up front. That's the main difference between HMO, PPO, EPO.
So, like it's one thing to need health insurance right when you're injured, but what about like preventative care, like annual screenings, vaccinations? Are those also included in the health insurance that Ironvest helps get?
Everything, yeah. Everything we do is fully ACA compliant. So you go to your doctor, you get your annual physical, they do whatever testing that they need to do, and you get on with your day and your life. Women get 2 visits per year, men get 1, obviously fully 100% paid for, 100 guaranteed.
And if people already have doctors that they want to keep, could they like keep their current doctors after they switch to health insurance that Ironvest helps them get?
Yes. And so here's the way it simply works is doctors are parts of networks. Every insurance company has its own network. We have 5 networks that we can use: Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, First Health, PHCS, and I never remember the fifth one because I don't use it. But I had a situation where a client in Florida, her doctors weren't in Blue Cross, but they were all in First Health. So we went through the First Health plans, found one that fit for her in her budget. Boom, done. She's insured now.
A few years ago, I feel like I heard the words pre-existing conditions in the news all the time. But I haven't really heard of people talking about like pre-existing conditions lately. So, like, what do people need to know about pre-existing conditions? Like, are they covered? Are they not covered? How does that work?
Yeah. So pre-existing, it's a very general term. It could be a pregnancy as a pre-existing condition, or I just had a heart transplant. All pre-existing conditions. Most of the time, these are covered with our plans. If someone's going through treatment for a specific thing, I would not recommend, excuse me, changing plans. But everything pre-existing conditions generally are not. Someone's got cancer, one thing versus diabetes. They're different scenarios, so they're individual, but generally they're not an issue anymore.
Okay, so they can like when tradespeople reach out to you to discuss their options, like they could bring that up and talk to you about it to figure out like what's the best next step for them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And is there anything else that you feel is like a common question that you get, or any other topics that you feel like our users should really know about?
The biggest complaint and problem I have is people don't understand. So it's an education a little bit. And really, math, making sure that their premium versus their deductible versus their max of out of pot, all those words that you did, they're all numbers. If we work the math right, we can make sure that the person has the proper plan in the proper budget and understands what the best case scenario and worst case scenario will be with them so that they can play their game and protect themselves. Because it's one thing I didn't touch on before. The number one reason for bankruptcy in this country is medical debt. So that's where that max out of pocket comes in so handy is you're not going bankrupt for a $10,000 bill because the hospital will take a payment plan. So it's protection on top.
What about like gig workers?
That's actually what we're designed for. Each of these plans are designed to have individual workers join part of it because this goes into it. What we're actually doing is we're actually taking those gig workers and making them part ownership of our company and allowing them to buy into our large group health insurance plan. We have over 150,000 members in our health insurance group. So gig workers are just becoming part of our group and have access to all 62 of the optional plans that we have.
So they have like more negotiating leverage to get better rates because it's a larger group. Is that how that works?
Yeah. So that's why we have so many options and so many networks, as we have so many people that we negotiate. I won't say better rates, but good rates, because there's nothing better about health insurance rates nowadays. But yes, that's exactly where it is. So that's how this was designed for gig workers, actually, is where it started.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really important for the specific group of people for sure. We have a lot of gig workers on the app.
Yep.
And then before we wrap up, I just want to check with James or Devin, anything else that like you want our users to know, or any like common questions that you get that you want to talk about?
Really, the only thing that I would want to just make sure to reiterate one more time is, and Adam does a wonderful job going through, hey, look at all these different variables. And again, we have a fantastic team that we're running with. And so Devin, Adam, we really appreciate all the work that everyone's doing. I say that, again, they're not alone when it comes to Trade Hound users. They're not alone when it comes to trying to navigate what their max out of pocket or what co-insurance is, what premium. There's so many different variables and terms that could inundate you and kind of give you that paralysis by analysis situation when you're trying to choose your health insurance plan. And saying that, that's where we come into play. We are very happy to take a meeting. We're very happy to help you self-enroll, but it's something that if you have any questions, if you even just want to know how to spell health insurance, right? Reach out to us, send us a DM on the app, go ahead and go through our website, and our information, our email, or all of our phone numbers are all on that website as well. And so whatever questions anybody has, we're here to be your guides and help you navigate that situation. And so we're just extremely grateful for the opportunity to partner and help as much as we can and bring value to your users.
And is that like first like outreach to you, or the questions that users might have, is that free for them?
I'll take that because I spend the most time on the app. Yeah, they can absolutely DM us. They can click on that site, drop us an email. I was also going to say, spending the most time on the app, I'm going to tell you, is I'm really excited to partner because the number of the photos and videos of somebody putting a nail through their hand, there are some terrifying things. So anytime I see those, I'm like, can you please go visit our site? Because like, we need to make sure you're covered. Like, and I don't know how much they're on the app as much, but yeah, feel free, send us a DM and make sure we have insurance. I think it's cool what you guys are doing, but Jesus, some of those photos, I'm like, good Lord, Instagram would be banning it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that in the Trade Hounds team, like on the marketing side, about the images, because they are like really gory. And you're right, a lot of the other sites would be like covering them. And we've had so many talks about it. And we're like, you know what, though? Like, this is a really
it's what happens, though. It's what
yeah.
happens. So
It's a
that's
big part of the trades.
right?
Like getting injured is like part of it. And maybe
Yes.
like showing other people's injuries makes people think twice and like maybe be a little more careful. Like having other people to ask. A lot of people will ask questions about their injuries and or even just like commiserate about like back pain or different things like
Yeah,
that.
somebody gets injured, reach out. I mean, ideally beforehand, for sure. Yeah. I'll even have nerdy conversations with you about gear you should be using because I have a kid that's in special operations. And so he's like, this is what we use out in this and out, and so I love talking about all that stuff with them.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to share today before we wrap up?
Actually, one thing completely different, but a lot of tradespeople rely on workman's comp. And a lot of companies and a lot of places don't have it or don't need it in certain circumstances. Florida, you don't need it if you have less than 5 employees. Well, I have a friend who's part of 4 employees who got hurt and ran up $10,000 worth of bills that she's on the hook for by herself on her health insurance because she's lucky she had it. But if she didn't, she would be on the hook for about $100,000. So workman's comp is not always something that's reliable and not always something that's there. So for tradespeople, I want to make sure that they understand that.
That's a good point, because I do get that question a lot, Adam.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you guys again so much. I know we are going to keep putting out videos because there's so many other like benefits you offer, which is so cool. And I can't thank you guys enough for working with us to help provide all of these other types of benefits to tradespeople. But I want to wrap up here on the health insurance front. I know it's on everyone's mind right now because it's a very timely topic, but I appreciate you clarifying that this is something that people can reach out to you even beyond the January 15th deadline. So that's super helpful to know. If you guys haven't already connected with Ironvest on Trade Hounds, make sure you connect and reach out, comment, check out the tool belt resources that we have for you there. And thank you all again so much for your time. And I really appreciate everything you're doing for the trades community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.